Hello and welcome along to the next instalment of my camper conversion YouTube channel. On this video I'm going to be fitting some LED downlighters into a new headlining that I've just made for this little Daihatsu Hijet, which I'm turning from a basic panel van into a little micro camper van. Now I've bought a set of four of the LED downlights. I didn't buy the pack that comes with the little connection box as well, because I've got a remote LED dimmer that they're going to be getting wired to, so they're just going to get wired straight to that rather than into the connection box and then onto the dimmer. Wiring in the LED downlights is really easy. The front bezel on the LEDs just unscrew. That gives you two screw holes, and then it's just a case of mounting them wherever you want on the headlining, drilling through a hole to poke the wire through, screw them onto the headlining, connect them up, and away you go. They're not very complicated to wire in at all, but as I say, I'll still document exactly what I'm going to do, show you how they're all fitted in, and show you them all wired up and working at the end of the video. So I'm going to mark up exactly where I want these into the headlining. I'm going to have them surrounding the skylight, because then it's going to be pretty central for the inside of the van, because it's not a really big van. If it was a longer van, I would have them spaced out further going along, and I would have probably got a set of 6 rather than 4. 4 is still going to be plenty for this size van though, especially with a dimmer as well. 4 would probably be too bright if you didn't have a dimmer, but being able to just knock them all the way down, that makes a great difference. So I'll get a drill out, start marking up some positions, get these fitted in, and show you it all when it's all fitted in. Right, so there's the lights all fitted into the headlining. They're all screwed in place with the caps all screwed on as well. So on the underside it's just a case of now getting all the wires pulled through to one central location, and that's where the dimmer is going to be sat. I'll show how I'm wiring them all into the dimmer, but it's as I've said, it's not a big job to fit these at all. You're talking half an hour at most to fit all 4, get them all wired in. So now these are in, I can actually get the wires fed down to where I need them, and then I can get the headlining now refitted. Just picking up on the downlighter install. This had been put on hold just while I was waiting for the dimmer to arrive. That's now come. It's a remote controlled dimmer with off function as well, so you can leave that on your keys for the actual van and turn the lights on for the van as you get into it. Nice handy feature. Now, because I bought the downlight without the junction box, I just tested the lights just to be sure which way around they are, just by putting just a basic cable straight to the lights, and one of them flicks straight on. So if you're getting lights without the junction box, the cables with the writing is positive, and anything just with the dashed line, that's going to be the negative. So it's just going to be a case now of wiring all 4 of these lights into one junction box going into the dimmer, then just wiring that down into the battery box. I've put the battery under the kitchen units there, and I've got a fuse panel and a common negative supply for it as well. It's a similar sort of setup where you can get an in-one unit, but the in-one unit costs, I think it's around about £30–35, whereas that there cost me about £8, something like that. It doesn't look quite as neat as the all-in-one unit, but for saving of 70%, I'm quite happy with that. So now it's just a case of, as I say, getting all 4 of the downlight wires into a junction box into the dimmer. I'll wire all this up and show you it when it's all working. Right, so I've just finished the actual wiring. I've just got my dimmer there. I've just pulled just a tiny little bit of insulation behind the panel, and it's actually going to sit perfectly in there, being held in place just by the side panel itself. So the wiring itself, I've just ganged all of the cabling together into a little chock block, and then just a little bridging cable from the chock block to the dimmer, just so it's all nice and neat, and if it ever needs to get disconnected, you're just disconnecting the little bridge rather than having to fumble around with all the wires again. So they're all positives and negatives all together. That's it, all wired into the dimmer, and the dimmer is on a little remote control. I've got it wired in the junction box as well. I've just put a little 3 amp fuse in. I don't know how well it'll make out, but I say that's all fused up in there as well. Everything's on its own individual fuse in here. So just as a test fire, I'll just turn the lights on. And you see they're on. I don't know how well it'll make out the dimming, but I'll turn it down. And back up. And off. So there we go, there's the downlights all wired in, all tested. That's it. Now it's just a case of just putting the junction box away and tidying all the cables. So I'll pick this up just in a second and show it all finished off and tidied up. Right, so there's all the dimmer tucked away, so as I say, you wouldn't even know that it was there in the first place. The remote control still works perfectly fine with it being tucked away as well. So there we go, that is how I have installed my downlighters into my new headlining in this little Daihatsu Hijet camper conversion. So do feel free to have a look at my channel. There's all sorts of videos on there covering this conversion and the conversion of my T4 as well. So I hope you found this video useful. If you did, do give it that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And I hope to see you on the next video on my camper conversion channel. Thanks for watching. Cheers.